Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 7 p.m. on March 20th, 2023. I welcome you to this meeting of the Wayne-Westland Board of Education. We're going to begin our meeting with silence and the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, led by Lily and Jack Barber.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lily, Jack, if you'll stay up here for just a moment. Lily and Jack are from Schweitzer Elementary School, and their principal, Kristen Bricky, is here this evening. Miss Bricky, would you like to...
Yes, thank you. I'm Kristen Bricky, the principal of Schweitzer Elementary, and I have the absolute honor of telling you more about Lily and Jack Barber, who are actually sister and brother. Lily is a 5th grader and Jack is a 2nd grader. They both have attended Schweitzer since they've been in kindergarten, but we're convinced that they both have been part of our school their entire lives since both their mom and dad, Steve and Jean Barber, were both teachers at Schweitzer, and Dad is currently one of the assistant principals at the Innovative Academy. Lily loves coming to school to learn new things and to see her friends. She serves on the safety squad and was recently recognized as our March Safety of the Month for going above and beyond in her duties. Lily is also a member of our Schweitzer cheer team, which her mom coaches, and was in the Wayne-Westland Children's Drama Club production of Annie. When Lily grows up, she wants to either be a teacher like her mom and dad or a singer. One of my favorite things about Lily is that she is strong and knows how to speak her mind in a respectful way. Jack is a 2nd grader at Schweitzer in Mrs. Brown's class, and his teacher, Mrs. Brown, is here, and also Grandma and Grandpa are here too. And Jack's favorite subject is math. He enjoys number talks and how Mrs. Brown teaches that there can be multiple strategies to solve a math problem. Jack plays soccer and wants to play football someday just like his dad did. When he grows up, he wants to be a police officer for the city of Wayne. He is always willing to help and has a great sense of humor, and he makes everyone at our school laugh. Lily and Jack both are smart, kind, and strong leaders, and it is an absolute honor to have them as students at Schweitzer.
It says for participation in the flag ceremony during a regular meeting of the Board of Education at the Wayne-Westland Community School District. Thanks very much. And Miss Ricky would be in the picture. I was going to say, who was that guy? Good job.
Trying not to get in the picture, they're taking it from an angle.
I know you have to get your dad home. Their dad, Jack, is the assistant principal in charge of the Innovative Academy. So thank you for your work, and I know you have homework, so you can. Next on our agenda, Ms. Hines 23223 is the roll call.
Mr. Albrecht.
Present.
Miss Abney Mitchell. Ms. Hines present. Ms. May.
Present.
Mr. Neal.
Present.
Dr. Weaver.
Present.
President Cox.
Present.
A 7-0. Let the record show.
Thank
We
you.
have full house.
23323 is recognitions and presentations. Dr. Dignan.
Thanks, President Cox. Good evening, board. Good evening, community. At this time, I'd like to call up the John Glenn High School student representatives, kind of report out on Rocket Nation. Malaya Valentine, Alicia Ziegler, if you can make it up to the podium.
Good evening, I'm Malia Valentine.
And I'm Malaysia Ziegler, and we're here to discuss John Glenn's Black Student Union, also known as the BSU.
The BSU was established in December 2022, modeled after the BSU National Organization that has branches on all university campuses. Our mission is to promote a positive and productive representation of the African American community on and off the John Glenn High School campus, all while promoting proactive leadership, scholarship, community outreach, student empowerment, and embracing the cultural heritage, unity, and the appreciation of diversity around Pan-Africanism. The BSU's focus is to build awareness, education, and a new level of consciousness about being an African American in today's society. We aim to teach others about diversity and show that through engaging activities focused around acceptance and tolerance, we will get a better understanding of others while learning about ourselves, ultimately creating an inclusive, positive school environment through the promotion of social, cultural, and ethnic diversity.
The BSU also serves to support the school and district's mission of preparing all students for college and career readiness by supporting, educating, and building a culture of equity and acceptance. We meet bi-weekly on Thursdays at 2:15 to 3:15 p.m. in room 202. Membership is open to all students regardless of race and or culture who want to be a part of the mission. We welcome diversity as it provides a table for rich discussion, acceptance, and understanding. This year in February, the BSU sponsored Glenn's first school-wide Black History Month celebration. This year's theme was Continuing a Legacy of Hope. We began with the Spirit Week celebrating Black culture and heritage. The BSU hosted the Black Story, where Dr. Fleda Shaw Fleming was the keynote speaker. We also had a panel of distinguished Glenn alumni representing Duke University, Georgetown Law, Michigan State University, the University of Michigan, and Wayne State Medical School. The panel guests focused on their experiences in undergrad and key things to help students prepare for their post-secondary education.
Next week, we'll begin an 8-week series on civic, community, and personal leadership. There's also plans for a field trip to Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History to close out the school year. Some things we have planned for next school year include a Met Gala art exhibit focusing on art by Black artists, preparing for the TED Talk Detroit youth competition. The John Glenn has a talent show and a 16-week speaker training series on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Thank you for allowing us to highlight the happenings of John Glenn's BSU.
Ms. Ziegler, Ms. Valentine. Girls?
You might have to get a picture of you down here.
Yep, we'd like to give you a memento of your visit here tonight. If you'll forgive the informalness of this. So you can have your picture taken, so we have proof.
Great job, thank you.
Where's Tina? What is she?
At this time, I'd like to call Mr. Scott Kazmersky to the podium to talk about Wayne Memorial High School athletics and some of the championship teams and championship individuals there this year.
Good evening. My name is Scott Kazmersky. I'm the athletic director over at Wayne Memorial High School. I'd like to start off by thanking President Cox, the board, Dr. Dignan, and the cabinet for allowing us to come today and honor these teams that have excelled not only in the athletic field but also academically. And we're very proud of what these teams and individuals have done and the way that they've represented Wayne Memorial throughout the whole entire season and from before that point. So I'd like to start off number one and bring up the girls basketball team, if you could come up here for a second.
Who's in the front here? the only way I could ever be in this picture.
The girls' basketball team is coached by Coach Jarvis Mitchell, who they have a KLA meeting today, so he's not here, but Assistant Coach Mitchell is here as well, and Coach Webster's here as well, so we appreciate you coming today. Overall, 20-6 for the regular season. A fine job there. We can give them a hand for that. I think the thing people forget about, obviously goals are to go win a state title year in and year out, and these girls have done a tremendous job the last couple years, and I know their goal is always the Breslin, but what I'll say is this: when you're one of the top teams in the state year in and year out, you're going to get everybody's best effort, and the fight and the battle every day and every game for these girls, they rise to the occasion, they play hard, and they know that they're going to get everybody's best, and again, they have represented Wayne Memorial great and with great pride, and we love watching them. On top of the other parts of that, 14-0, the East Division champs in the KLA this year, district champions. That's their 7th straight time that they've been the district champion. And then we have a couple individual recognitions. Mayla Ham, put your hand up for me. Thank you. You were the finalist for the Miss Michigan Basketball Award, which is the most prestigious girls basketball award in the state. Mayla will be attending Georgetown University next year. All of her hard work in the classroom and the court has been rewarded with an opportunity with that. And Paris Bass, raise your hand. Will be attending North Dakota. Again, just did a great job in the classroom and on the court and had earned that. We're very proud of the coaching staff, the time that they've put in year in and year out. Obviously, it takes a lot to do that. It takes time away from your family, and we appreciate all your time and support and help with these girls. But congratulations to the girls' basketball team.
We have certificates for you all. We'll give them to you out in the front.
Hey, Coach Mitchell.
Thank you, Coach.
Next up with Wayne Memorial, head coach Christine Day, who could not be here tonight, I'd like to bring up our 2022-23 Division I state champions, the boys varsity bowling team. Obviously, it was a lot very exciting to watch. It was they came back from behind a couple times and stayed together and stayed the course. And the fun thing about watching this team was how together they were as one. And if things didn't go the way they wanted them, they would huddle up and get it back on track. And then, obviously hit some strikes there. But just a great group, a great team. And you watched them work together. It was great to see that in the finals. A lot of fun to watch. Just a couple things about them outside the state championship. They were the KLA East Division champs. They were 14-0 in the regular season for their record. Everybody up there was a senior. We had 2 individual state qualifiers. Kyle Webster, state, raise your hand. And Donovan Usselman, raise your hand. Another individual, Kyle, bowled a 300 game at regionals. And in the KLAA tournament, we had a 280 Baker game during qualifying, which is really impressive. Great job with that. They were also winner of the Wayne County Bowling Tournament this year. Obviously, again, represented Wayne the right way in the way that we expect them to represent Wayne. We're very proud of you, proud of the state title, but proud of what you've done, again, not only on the lane, but in the classroom as well. So thank you. Your championship.
guys. I'll give the certificates to Mr. Kazmersky. I'll give them to you. I loved you on State Champs.
Can you get a picture? You got a shirt?
I think Jenny got the picture.
Can you get it?
Let it clear it up. Next up, I'd like to call up Mr. Jason Malloy to talk about John Glenn High School athletics.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, President Cox, Dr. Dignan, and the Cabinet. I am the athletic director at John Glenn High School, and I'm excited to announce our two teams who did really well this season. First, I'm going to start with our bowling program. So can I have our bowling program come on down? Our girls bowling. So coming to John Glenn, we have a phenomenal girls program, and they won the KLAA East Division. They are the division champs. They went 16-0.
16-0.
Here's a better stat for you. They're 76-0 since 2018. And they've only lost 5 regular season games since 2012. So give them a round of applause. They are setting the bar. So actually watching them in the state finals was, I think I pulled out the rest of my hair. I don't have that many. I pulled out the rest. They qualified into the cut round by 1 pin. They beat the first team they played by 1 pin. So then I started calling them the cardiac kids. They lost the second game to the eventual MHSA state champions, Holt. Holt defeated the team before us by 100 pins, and we lost by 12 pins. So we were right there. It was just an awesome thing to see the competitiveness. Our fans and our family and the parents were there all the way through the season. It was absolutely fantastic. They were cheering them on. But we are so proud of their accomplishments as a team. So give them a round of applause. We had 2 individuals, Carly Chenard and Tiara Henderson. Both made the individual cut for individual state championship. Carly made it to the final 16. And lost in the first round to the eventual state champ. So again, kudos to them individually. Thank you for a fantastic season. Kim Cabildo is our bowling coach, so let's give them one more round of applause.
Ms. Johnson, can you take a picture? I got a picture. Okay. Congratulations again.
Thank you, guys.
Good job, ladies.
Now can I have our wrestling team come up? This looks like about a third of the team. I'd like to give kudos to Coach Polk and his staff. He has so many coaches that help him. Oh, Coach Timms is here as well. Coach Timms. They do a phenomenal job, and I will tell you this, if there is a program that's always in the school building, it's wrestling. They're there in the morning, they're there at night, they're closing out, they're working hard every single day. They are a phenomenal program that sets the expectation, not just in our conference, but in the entire state. I will just say this, I was at a conference in Traverse City, and I was talking about our wrestling program, and somebody was ear hustling over at the other table, and they said, Coach Polk? Coach Polk? At John Glenn? And I said, yeah. And so we had that conversation. He had nothing but positive things to say about our coach and our program. This year we were the KLAA East champions. Let's give them a round of applause for that. We did lose in a tough home match against Bedford, but we're coming back for them next year. We will be there. I'd like to give out some individual accolades to our head coach who has been here for a while, and wrestling is part of it. But one of the big things that I see with Coach Polk is that he makes a difference in their lives, boys and girls. So Coach Polk eclipsed 500 victories as a coach this year. Let's give him a round of applause for that. I know he's very humble, but that's a great accomplishment, and he's one of the best coaches to coach ever in the state of Michigan. He also was named Girls Regional Coach of the Year, and he was also named the Girls State Coach of the entire year in the whole state of Michigan. So thank you, Coach Polk. We had 5 student athletes make it to the state finals. We had senior Morgan Irwin. She placed second and is a 4-time All-State, academic All-State, third 4-time All-State in school history. So let's give her a round of applause. Raise your hand, Morgan. She's right up front. She didn't raise her hand. Sophomore Jacob Kennedy is All-State, placing 8th as the only 10th grader in his bracket. Let's give Jacob a hand. Raise your hand, Jacob. Camden Hood finished his season top 12 and with over 100 wins in his entire career. Raise your hand, Camden. Junior Robert Dawson finished top 12 and is now a 2-time state qualifier. Robert, raise your hand. He's hiding in the back. And then we had a state champion. Nikayla Dawson was the state champion. She defeated every opponent and was unscored on the entire time. Let's give her a round of applause. I will just say again, they are setting the standard and the expectation, not just in our school. And I will just say, as an athletic director, it is an honor to work with programs like the bowling program and our wrestling program to be the athletic director, because they set the mark for academics and athletics. When I talk about being a student athlete, I know that both of these coaches hold their kids accountable for that, and that's all I can ask for as an athletic director. And before I leave, I will always say, it's always a great day to be a Don't move, wrestling team, don't move.
Thank you.
Great job, my friend.
Coach Cole? All right, we're getting pictures. All right, ready? All right, great, thank you.
Thanks, team.
Way to go, Bill.
Great job.
Next up, I'd like to call Ms. Parks and Mr. Schaffner to the podium. We have a special partnership with the Holocaust Museum, and they're going to do a little presentation and kind of talk about what that partnership looks like.
Not sure if there's a clicker.
Yeah, she has it right there.
Good evening, board and Dr. Dignan, and I've also had Dr. Nathan, who's been an integral partner with us in this partnership. And I just want to say, my name is Rick Schaffner. I am the manager of education outreach and teacher programs at the Zuckerman Holocaust Center.
And my name is Katie Chaka Parks. I'm the manager of adult education at the center.
And we're just going to take a couple minutes to kind of share with you a partnership that's evolved with this school district over the last probably a year ago in January, and we wanted to get it to a place where we thought it was a great time to share with you as board members, because we're really excited about it. And then we want to invite you to a community event that is just for the Wayne-Westland Community Schools at our museum in May. I'm going to let Katie kind of introduce a little bit about the museum.
Yes, so for those of you that have never been before, we are in Farmington Hills, Michigan, and the Zuckerman Holocaust Center was founded in 1984 by Holocaust survivors. So we're one of the very first museums in the United States to commemorate the Holocaust.
We serve around 65,000 visitors every year, a vast majority being school children, but we really understand that we need to educate communities, not just students and adults, but everyone together. We have guided tours, special exhibits, workshops, teacher workshops, of which we educate hundreds of teachers, some from this district, which is wonderful. And we actually have a major renovation on the museum starting the end of May, and then we will be releasing the grand opening of the exhibits beginning in January of '24.
So our purpose in being here tonight is really to talk to you a little bit about a community partnership model that has been very instrumental in kind of how we think about our outreach with schools and communities. Now, Katie is the adult side of the business, and I'm kind of the teacher and student side of the business, but we realized very quickly that when we work with people and try to get them into the museum for any one of our programs, we recognize very quickly that it's not good enough. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now, and we need to come together as a community. So when I started working with, reaching out to Dr. Dignan, what we quickly realized is, oh, wow, I think Katie should be in on this conversation because a lot of our programs transcend and they overlap. So as Dr. Dignan kind of connected me with Dr. Nathan, we started to talk to her about all the different things that we do. And she said, wait a minute, we need all of this. How do we do this as a community? And so we said, we don't know, let's figure that out. So over a series of meetings and a visit by several people I see in this room tonight of teachers and administrators from your district coming out to the museum and really getting a real good look at what we do through a tour, but also an overview of our programs, we then went through kind of a strategic planning session, which hopefully in your board packs, which I imagine you have, we kind of came up with a game plan of what it could look like to weave our resources into your district so that we could have a bigger purpose. And really, our purpose was to determine your needs and how we can be a part of it. We have a lot of resources that are free or very minimal expense, but putting in something that would help your community without a lot of cost, because we understand dollars are valuable. So our goal was to overlap with what you're already doing in the district to make this place great. It's a great community. There's clearly a lot of great things going on here. It's kind of hard to follow 76 straight wins, but we're excited about this partnership. So what we put together is kind of a 3 to 5 year plan of activities, resources, and events, some of which you are already taking advantage of. We've had schools at our museum come visit. We've had teachers in our workshops. But now that we have a more concerted effort, we're able to really build something that is specific to your community that might also tie in your community resources like your police officers for our security sector training, or it might tie in the city council, or it might tie in some of the parents in the community. And as you'll see, even your custodians in this district, which we saw a couple weeks ago. During this school year, which is really year one of our plan, and we're kind of formally rolling out with you tonight, just some of the things that have happened and gone on include, we've had multiple student groups. I can tell you we have Franklin Middle School coming yet this Friday, and they are able to take part now as part of our bus subsidy program, because we know bus costs a lot, and in this particular instance, the school couldn't even get a bus because they're so busy right now this time of year. They had to go outsource, so we can actually cover that cost and get your school and your students into our museum. So we're excited about that. And this is a teacher who's been coming. She almost couldn't go. This partnership allows us to do some of those things that you might not be able to do. The other thing, our bus subsidy program is now getting out to more students. We are now starting to get some students from this district that are participating in our art and writing competition this year, which is closing on Friday and has student participants from all over the state. We were very active participants in your PD Palooza back in the fall. I personally got to lead one of the workshops with my colleague that works with Katie Chaka Parks. We had a great time with your teachers, and we heard some really positive feedback. Two of the programs that I think I'm most excited about that we've done this year, as well as your cadet teacher program, actually came to our museum. Instead of just going on a tour like we do with a lot of our student groups, these soon possibly to be educators that want to go into the field actually went through a mini teacher workshop with us. We fed them lunch, and we took them through kind of a workshop that we would take teachers through so they could really understand how to teach about things like the Holocaust that are a little more challenging. And we had a great day with them, and I know not the whole group wasn't able to come because of some school closure issues at the time, but we did have a pretty sizable group, and we look forward to having them back. The last one I want to talk about tonight, just as an example of what's going on this year, is about 2 weeks ago we were here. Well, many people were, I think, on your winter break. I think most of your custodial maintenance department was here doing a workshop with Katie and I on one of our adult museum programs. What was nice about it is Katie and I also had the opportunity to kind of make it a bit more relevant to their work here at school. Because oftentimes when they see things like swastikas on a bathroom stall, we don't think of it as a real dangerous thing. We just clean it off and we move on. They got to see a whole different lens, and I think it was one of the most powerful days that both of us have had in this work. What we also found out is they want to come to the museum now, and this is a group that I think the comment that I appreciated most is we've never had staff training like this, and that's good. That's a good thing, and that doesn't mean staff training is bad. It just means we're diversifying what we can help you to do for your own team. And conversely, you help us get the word out that we all can be better. And Tony, I do have passes as promised for your staff, and I've dropped some additional ones off with Dr. Nathan as well. Do you want to add anything to any of these, Katie?
No, I think I'd just like to say that, one of the biggest reasons that we're doing this is because the mission at the museum is to engage, educate, and empower people by remembering the Holocaust. So even if the Holocaust doesn't always feel like perhaps the most relevant thing, we're teaching about anti-prejudice, anti-bias, making sure that people understand that when you walk out of the doors of the museum, you enter communities and you choose to do better. You choose to show up every day the way that clearly your students are and your administration and this whole community is. And so we want to be a resource to you to help continue to do those things.
Well, and the exciting part is the word's actually getting out. I do some work with the state superintendent and the DEI task force up there. They have a survivor that they're partnering with out of New Jersey. They want to do some sort of an event here that involves students. So the nice thing about this partnership is I could reach out to Ms. Western at Franklin Middle School and say, hey, what do you think about doing something with your students around the books you're reading in your language arts class? So we are working to set up even that for next fall, and Dr. Rice himself really wants to be involved in this. So I think we have opportunities to also help get the word out about all the great things you guys are doing here. Lastly, I just want to share with you, is a big part of this partnership that Dr. Nathan and Katie and I were all working on, is we really wanted a special night to commemorate Wayne-Westland as a community. And so we'd like to formally invite the community, and I know Dr. Nathan will be putting out more details as we frame them out. May 10th from 6 to 8, we are shutting down the museum at 5 o'clock, and we're reopening for Wayne-Westland. It will be Wayne-Westland Community Night exclusively for anybody in this community. There will be no charge, of course. The theme is how to be a community upstander in Wayne-Westland. And we will be providing refreshments and light hors d'oeuvres and group tours and a whole host of things. So if you've never been there and you want to learn about us, stay tuned for more. We're going to be pushing out brochures and information on that, and there'll be a way to sign up for that. But we really wanted to come here and officially introduce ourselves. I know we've met with the cabinet here and done some really amazing things, and we'll entertain some questions. And join us as a board, as a community. We would love to see you May 10th. Our doors are going to be open just for you. And the good news is you'll see it right before it gets closed again, temporarily, at least the core exhibit. The main museum will be open throughout the summer.
Questions, members of the board? Mel?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd just like to make a statement. I think this is amazing. I remember when I was in high school in literature, we watched the Anne Frank story, and that just touched my heart because I put myself like, what if that was me and my family? Yeah. And I even had my son went to the library watch it. Then I was watching Sophie's story, just something, it's really just like heart, breaking to just see what happened. So it's really nice to be able to participate. And I've always wanted to go to the museum, but every time I go, I don't know if it's open or closed. So I definitely would like to visit.
So you let me know. I'll make sure we get you in. Anybody from this community, for that matter, because you're our family now. We treat you as such. And I will tell you, when you do come, you can actually see a clipping of Anne Frank's tree outside of our window. We are one of the 9 destinations where they kept clippings, and we have grown a tree from Anne Frank's tree. Wow. At our museum. So you'll be able to see that. So we're pretty proud of that. That's one of our highlights.
Chief Neal?
You may have mentioned it, but do you have weekend hours?
We do on Sunday. We don't on Saturday. We're closed for the Saturday.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yes.
And what are the hours on Sunday?
Do you know the hours off that?
9:30 to 5.
Okay, thank you.
And the nice thing is we also offer free public tours, and we have survivor speaker Sundays on Sundays, where you can actually see a Holocaust survivor speak. And they usually speak at noon, and then we have a public tour at 1.
Okay, thank you.
Other members? I'd like to thank you for your outreach. Thank you for being here tonight. And I'd just like to say I don't think anybody here would think nothing of seeing a swastika painted on a wall. So.
No, I know that for sure.
Thank you very much.
For sure.
Thanks, Katie and Rick.
Thank you.
Next up, I'm going to ask Ms. Brohl and Mr. Raff to come to the podium. They're going to talk about, at our last meeting, Ms. May asked about some of the investments on our online tools. They're going to talk about district acceleration support update. Again, none of this would be possible without our teachers and kids. So they're driving this whole thing, and it's about getting the right tools in our teachers' hands. Mr. Rath?
Thank you. I'm actually only here for a short period of time because Mrs. Polakevich was not able to be here, so you get the rookie. The guy comes in from the dugout here. But I'm trying to see. Okay, good. So I'm just going to go over some of the ESSER funds, the cognitive. See, Jen told me not to say it because I wouldn't be able to pronounce it up here. I want to say it, Jen. Someone help me. Gwen? Continuity of services. Thank you, guys. That's why I got the group over here. But anyways, we are looking at 3 areas that we've talked about, the mitigation, the academic impact, and additional needs that I know Ms. Polakevich did go over a little bit and talked a little bit about in a bigger overall detail of what those things were in the fall. And what we're here today to do is talk to a little bit more specifically of the data that we've collected and some of the special programs that we are using and going through in our district. There's a lot of good things happening, and I'm going to turn it over to Kate, and she's going to finish this off.
Okay, so we have several things that we have put in place to accelerate and support student learning, and I am just going to provide a brief overview and an update of some of these things, or all of these things. And this has been a collaborative approach, and so there's been many people in our curriculum instruction and assessment team who have been part of this work, and that we have connected with our college and career readiness team as well. So Amira is an innovative digital resource that utilizes artificial intelligence, actually. Our students read to the computer, and it assesses and tutors students based on the skills and based on their fluency and the things that they need. And then it automatically and immediately produces a report that the teachers can look at and intervention strategies that they can use as well. And teachers really like the feature where they can go back and hear students. So even though they can't sit with every single student every single day and record them, if they want to go back and listen in on students, they can do that at any time. And we actually just had some of our staff who were highlighted in a professional development video showing how they created a system for students to track their own progress and their own goals. This is just some of the initial implementation data, and from this it indicates that the students who are reading more frequently to Amira have shown more growth than those students who are using it infrequently. And we are working on connecting this data to our NWA data right now, working with Joe Orban, to see how that alignment connects. So look forward to that too. WonderWorks is another tool that we provided to our 2nd through 5th grade students and teachers. And it starts 2 grade levels, or it's for students who are 2 grade levels below. It connects directly with our core curriculum of Wonders, but it is more aligned to gradually releasing students into levels that are matched to them. So some teachers are using this whole class, some in small groups, and some one-on-one is needed. And also some of our resource room teachers are using this as well. All right, some of the secondary things, I'm going to kind of go into 2 secondary pieces and then go back to an elementary one. Read 180 and Math 180 were shared by Kim Polakevich the last time that she was up here. But just with this data, it shows that we are closing the achievement gap, both with the Read 180 here and also with the Math 180 that's used at the secondary level. And then the last tool that I wanted to go over today is Be Able. So this is another component that is not just for literacy, but also for college and career readiness. We really try to make that connection between our 2 departments and really look at us as kind of one unified group in central office. And so this tool not only looks at literacy, but students take an interest survey and what's called a RIASEC survey that has different components of college and career paths. And pointing to Jacinda over here, college and career paths, yes, the 6 different paths. And so from there, we're using that data to really help drive some of the work that we're doing district-wide with our different grade levels, and we'll be sharing that soon as well. Be Able uses Lexiles, which is just a nationally normed way to look at reading achievement. So some of our usage data. So this is our second year using Be Able. Last year was really trying to just see where interest was, giving an awareness to our staff and students, seeing how it could be used with some more intentional use this year. So this year with our more intentional use, we really monitored to make sure that it was being implemented. The assessments were being given, the interest surveys, the RIASEC surveys, so that way we could actually use it to drive our work and then actually look at it to see how it's having an impact on our students. So that's why looking at that implementation data was a big piece of the work this year for us. And this you can just tell looking at the top chart to the bottom chart that the usage from last year to this year, all of the numbers are higher this year, looking at it in its simplest form, showing that the implementation this year has definitely been more. And we still have 4 months of school to go, and summer, because this can be used at home. And now that we've had all of the Lexile assessments, the interest, the RIASEC, we're using that collective data district-wide to help drive our work. And students can use it from this point when they're finished with work. They can use it as a center in the classrooms, but also always at home as well. We have different challenges throughout the year that we put out. So some of the progress around this. So not only do we look district-wide, but also school-wide at different things. So this is just an average lessons completed by building. Enough kind of big picture to show that the Lexile growth across the district has grown since the usage. And then just looking at that data a little bit differently. I know it's well, for me at least, too small to see. But essentially it's showing that third grade is showing the most gains when you look at the data right here. Just another chart looking by school, and this is really just showing that Edison and Walker are making the biggest gains as well when we look at it by school. So it just gives us some data points to look at, and so we can really dive into, okay, what's going well there and why, and what else might be contributing to that as well. Then when looking whole picture, not by grade or just, not by grade I should say, but collectively, Roosevelt is showing gains overall the most. And then with our implementation usage, fourth grade is showing the highest usage, but third grade, as mentioned already, is showing the most gains. So just kind of a big picture snapshot of the different data points that we have gotten from Be Able. Some of the next steps, we are considering adding this to sixth grade for next year. We will continue to utilize the interest survey data to plan for our extracurricular offerings, field trips, classroom reading materials. Going to continue to use the RIASEC data to formulate groups and activities within the classrooms and continue to increase our usage. Also lined up to our continuity of learning plan, David, is some of the things that we'll be extending into the summer. Some of our programming that we'll be using our ESSER funding for. The literacy bus, this is our fourth year doing that this year. We're expanding at K-8, where the bus is housed at the schools throughout the summer, and then also drives around the community and hands out books and literacy materials to students and families. A Kinder Lit Lab, this will be our first year we're doing this in this way. It's for our incoming kindergarten and young 5 students. So before they even enter our doors, we're going to be providing some summer learning opportunities for them as well. The Out of the World Epic Camp is reading, science, math, really like a STEM-based camp that we're able to provide. Our Career Tech Camp, Engage EMU Math Camp, and then our High School Credit Recovery. You. Any questions? Yes.
Questions?
I just had a question with the Be Able, and with Hicks and Roosevelt and Taft, it shows like negative. Like, so what caused it to flip in the opposite direction?
And I'm using somebody else's presentation, so
Mind
I'm
if
looking
I
at. I
jump
can.
in? They're so far behind grade level, but they're catching up. So, one of the things Be Able's going to be able to do is link with NWEA. So we'll use that as a screener. Actually, our growth in the fourth grade is some of the highest growth in the country. And again, I'm going to credit the teachers and staff for driving this and our kids using the tool itself. Actually, I talked last week to the CEO of BA Saki Donaldson, and she said the Lexile Institute, which norms the Lexile score, actually wants to do a case study on Wayne-Westland. So I think that's probably in the future. The other thing too about the literacy bus is that we're gonna partner too with the Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum. So they're gonna follow and do some things during the summer with our kids.
And I had a question too, is I know we had some concerns with the truancy over at Hicks, and I don't know, if we ever got that resolved. And that could be an issue as well, because if the kids aren't really in school, then it's hard for them to learn. Were we able to figure out like a strategy with the truancy over there?
We're
Still
working on
it?
that as
Okay.
we speak. I agree with you. Our students have to consistently get in front of our teachers. If they do, we're gonna see success. And this is proven not just by that, but the Read 180 wants to do national videos on our teachers, especially at the middle school level where they're seeing tremendous growth. And again, this is gonna show up on state and national data in the next 2 to 3 years.
Ms. Abby Mitchell.
I just want to say that, I have seen the literacy bus ride through the city of Inkster in the summers, and some families take advantage of it, and some, I would like to explore ideas where the literacy bus can come to a park in the summertime, and, we can announce it in the city of Inkster that the literacy bus will be there, just say July the 10th, between 1 and 2, just putting that out there that time, or any time to get more kids involved and make their parents more aware of it. So if any way that, when the literacy bus come back out, we make that contact with the city of Inkster, letting them know to get more people involved. Because I have seen it where parents and the kids ran out to the bus, and I have seen it where the bus just go down the street and nobody pays attention to it.
Thank you for that. And when we first chose the locations, a couple of years ago, we did the most highly populated and highly visited locations and had them stop at those spots, whether it be residential area or a park. And then and we also had the school as a stop, and what we found is the school was the most visited. However, I really like the idea of touching base with all of our city leaders and saying, where do you suggest? So that way we make sure we're hitting those spots and the schools as well. So we'll make sure we do that. Thanks for that suggestion.
Okay, and also that would be something I would, be interested in working with you on there.
Great.
I'm on the Parks and Recs Commission in the city of Inkster, so I probably know some of those spots.
Of course, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Albrecht.
I could talk about this one for months and months because this is kind of right up my alley, but it's so exciting to see that much growth because students are being assessed where they're at. Yeah. It adapts to where they're at. It allows for them to feel success, even though they may not be at grade level. And once they start to experience that success, how much more they want to do it. And they're being able to learn day and night, anytime, which is outstanding. I think one of the other more exciting things is it's clear to me that the people that are teaching literacy have adapted to this kind of learning and assessment. And I think that's outstanding. Thanks for that report.
Yeah,
Mrs. May?
Thanks. Thank you.
First of all, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for all of this information. I had a couple questions. My first one was in regards to a mirror. When is that used?
So during the school day, it can be used at home as well.
Okay.
But a lot of classrooms use it during the school day. And it's recommended that it's used 3 times a week, about 10 minutes a day. And I say about because it's really like 2 stories. Some students, so if they're at a lower level, it might just be a letter that they're reading to it. So they might do more. But once you get into the text, it's about 2 stories. So it's about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have we done anything where we've invited parents in where they can see this and that they know how to use it at home with their kids so that we're getting, we're getting the usage out of it where kids are also using it at home?
So right now, we really wanted to make sure that our students knew how to use it and we could troubleshoot with our teachers. And so one of the developers came out and was in several buildings with me in classrooms, sort of making sure that all of the glitches were fixed. We worked with technology to make sure that we had the right headphones, got those ordered. So kind of working through all of those things first. But we've been in contact of what else can we do for our parents. We've sent home videos and different tutorials and things, but haven't, district-wide at least, some schools might have as part of their literacy nights, right, and invited them in and showed them side by side how to use the different resources. But really the kids are the biggest teachers. They know how to use it because they just log on and there it is and they're ready to go. There's nothing else that they need to do to update it. It just connects to where their last thing was. But that's a great idea of just making sure that district-wide we're intentional about that piece. Thanks.
And then I have a couple more questions. For the Read 180 and Math 180, are those considered for credit now, or are they, how are the students taking those classes and are they receiving credit for those classes? Are they replacement classes for ELA and math, or?
So I'm gonna have Kim follow up with you.
Okay.
Just so that way you have that information, because my focus is really on the elementary pieces.
Got it. So then I have one more question about
Yeah.
Be Able, and you may have to get back with me.
That's okay.
My question is just, what are provisioned accounts? Because I'm looking at the data, and there's like, for 2021, there were 6,631 provision accounts, but then in 2022-23, there were only 2,778. So should that number be going down or up for provisioned accounts?
Without having it right in front of me, I would have to look at that to clarify for you, so I'll get
Okay.
back to you.
Okay.
Yep.
Once you share that information, Mrs. May, will you share that with other members of the board?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Those are my questions.
Yeah, no problem.
I just have one more question.
Yes,
Mel, just
ma'am.
give me a moment. Mr. Neal?
Oh, I just wanted to make a comment. I'm excited about this. I think it's a wonderful product, and it's shown great success, and I hope we can capitalize on that. I think it's wonderful. I don't know about doing it at home. I know for my grandkids, Roblox and Minecraft would take precedence, but I think this is really, really great.
Thanks.
Mel?
I just had one question on the chart. It's the page where it says average lessons completed by buildings, and it said average of all lessons, and then it was like a little slash. So what exactly does that mean if it's like 53 and 29? Can you just go over that part really quick?
I'll have Ms. Schultz share back with you on that one
Okay.
too. She's been leading the Be Able work and was not able to be here tonight. So I just wanted to make sure that all the information was shared. So I'll definitely make sure she reaches back out.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna have her share, they haven't rolled it out yet, the dashboards, because it'll show you, it'll give you snapshots on every kid. It's unbelievable, some of the things and data you can draw from it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Ms. Bro, great job, Mr. Ryan. Next up, I'm gonna call Ms. Jen Curry and Mr. Scott Toku. We're gonna talk about the district curriculum and college and career readiness update, and they're gonna introduce the members of their team.
Good evening. It is our pleasure to introduce our teams. The Curriculum and Instruction Department and the College and Career Readiness Department work very, very closely together. And they have provided you with an update of all the work that they're doing. On behalf of the Curriculum Department, we have Ms. Kate Broll, Mr. David Raft, Ms. Sherry Grove, and Mr. Charlie Holman.
The CCR department and SEL, we have Executive Director Daryl Beebe and Director Maria Metter here today. Amanda Dibus is not with us, and also we have two CCR our individuals that work at both of the high schools, and they weren't able to make it tonight.
So team
Thanks. Hi again. Like I said, I was sharing for some people in the last one, so you weren't supposed to see this much of my face. But, okay, here I am. I'm going to get started with some of the things going on with elementary. And as I mentioned in the last presentation, there's a lot of things that are really connecting college and career readiness and curriculum and instruction. So one of the things that is going on in all 10 of our elementary schools right now is coding. Kindergarten through 5th grade, intentionally, we have a media class once a week, and every student has media once a week. This is a picture here of Joe Carlson over at Hicks Elementary using the Code and Go mice with his students. And he's calling them coders and talking to them about their methods and everything that they're using. We used some grant funds to purchase the Code and Go mice. Also, Ozobots are on order, but they will be here soon using our grant funds. And then we have a future partnership we're working on with Sam's Lab that would not only be for our media teachers, but that our classroom teachers could use too, and it ties directly with our Science Amplify curriculum. I was here a couple months ago and have been throughout the last year talking about Walker Winter. Just kind of an update here. As you know, we've been working on an instructional reinvention. And so some of the things that they have planned right now are working on visits to local schools to just gain more ideas of what things look like in practice, get their wheels turning even more about what they want to look and feel like at Walker. Not that it would be like any other school, but just to get their juices flowing. Also, they have training set up for May 3rd around project-based learning, and then again, 3 days in August where they will be actually spending the time to develop a project with their grade level colleagues. We also have an opportunity for grade level teachers in the elementary other buildings to join for this day, so that way we are kind of maximizing the use of this professional development opportunity. We have had 5 Young Fives classrooms. They're listed there: Graham, Hamilton, Hicks, Schweitzer, and Wildwood, and we intend to continue using Young Fives as a method to support our youngest learners as they transition into kindergarten. And last week we had almost 400 parents show up for our kindergarten kickstart, which is our kindergarten and Young Fives kickstart. So that was an exciting thing to see and be out in schools and looking at our little kiddos, our future Wayne-Westland students. Young Sharks will be our 2nd year of doing Young Sharks. Last year, that's our culminating event from last year. We had classrooms across 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade last year. Young Sharks is essentially like based off of Shark Tank. So where students have an opportunity to really start from the ground up with a project on their own, project-based learning type of thinking, where something that they're interested in, they can create either individually, a partnership, a corporation. And this year we have almost every elementary school participating, and then they will have a mini Shark Tank at their presentation at their building, and then the winners from each of that will come over to Career Tech, and we will have our culminating event on May 24th, where one team or individual or partnership from each building will come to share out their project that they've done. We have a literacy task force that is starting what's today, Monday? Starting on Wednesday, our group is coming together. We have about 50 educators, and there it says pre-K 3. It is really a pre-K 5 group that we are doing, bringing everybody together so we can start to look at our vision as a whole, and then really go by literacy essential. There's 10 literacy essentials. Really go by essential to look at what are our goals within each of those essentials, instead of looking at, when we're done with our Wonders implementation, which was really like a whole canned curriculum, but really breaking it apart by literacy essential and saying, what is going to meet our students' needs in that area? Is it something we already have, something new that we need to look at? So kind of a different way of looking at approaching a curriculum adoption, and really starting with a huge task force, 50 people we have. Here they are. Kind of have it broken down by grade level, by role. Every school is represented. All of the roles that you can see up there: grade level teachers, principals, interventionists, resource room teachers, speech and language. EL teachers, coaches. So a large sampling across the district to be part of this work, starting it, like I said, on Wednesday, continuing it next month, and then also having 3-day planning at the end of the school year when school gets out. And then that will be continuing the work next year so that we are ready for implementation in 24-25. All right, I'm going to pass this over now to Ms. Sherry Grove.
Thank you. Good evening. I am going to just briefly touch on this slide for Mr. Orban, who really should get a lot of, if not all, the credit for bringing this to fruition. This is our organizing student database called EduClimber. Many of our teachers here in the room would be able to tell you about the multiple ways in which they're utilizing this data organizing system. This is also a way for our classrooms to communicate with other members in the building, like the main office, the admin, when we're talking about attendance or discipline concerns. It also allows us to track academic progress around not only our core curriculum, but also our intervention work that we're doing. So it allows us to bring all the pieces together and to communicate not only within the building, but district-wide. So this has been a huge resource in really bringing those data pieces together, and especially allowing our PLCs, our teams, to dig into data and then have those data dialogues around those reports and findings. And Ms. May, in response to your question about Math and Read 180, we have integrated Math and Read 180 into all of our core curriculum classes in math and ELA at the middle school level. So that is just a natural part of how they do business every day. They do that for 60 minutes a week in those math and ELA classes. And then we also have foundation courses, both at the middle school and high school level. And certainly we don't bestow credit at the middle school, but at the high school, the students do receive credit toward their high school fourth year math related credit. All right, something I'm very excited to talk about tonight is our partnership with an organization called Junior Achievement. Junior Achievement, as you can see, has lessons in financial literacy, work and career readiness, entrepreneurship, and has had multiple impacts on not only our students currently, but we are just growing this program to embed this within all levels of our curriculum moving forward too. So our middle schools would tell you that they visit what's called the Finance Park each year, and they literally experience this hands-on, engaging field trip in which Junior Achievement has created all kinds of financial, personal, professional experiences for them. We are going to be growing that at the middle school level in our new entrepreneur and advanced entrepreneur classes at all 3 middle schools. And you'll see in elementary, we're looking to incorporate the JA curriculum into our K-12 social studies curriculum. And then at high school, we're exploring what's called the JA Inspire virtual event, which is basically a very integrated and high-end career fair that is virtual. It partners with a lot of really big name companies in which the students can virtually explore this career fair, click on those companies, and literally engage with the personnel at those companies in terms of what they're looking for, job opportunities, internships, and so forth. So looking to grow that program at all of our levels and within our curriculum. Next, something that our middle school teams, our principals, our counselors, myself have all been working on and we're very proud of, we just completed this, is our middle school course alignment. We have created a system in which all students have access to the same classes, experiences, and opportunities, regardless of which middle school they attend in our district. The master schedule will be driven by student interest. There are currently 22 elective offerings for our students at all 3 middle schools to choose from. 5 new courses were added to the elective offerings this year: entrepreneurship, advanced entrepreneurship, drama, intro to innovation, and future teachers, which I know came before the board a month or two ago. And all classes aligned to create a universal course description guide and selection sheet for all 3 middle schools. So they literally received the same materials because the experience and offerings are the same at all 3 schools. So we're excited to offer that to our students. And each of you should have a copy of our curriculum handbook, which was developed to share the processes of curriculum instruction and assessments with our stakeholders while providing transparency and guidance for our teachers and staff. You can see that we've really spent a lot of time outlining the processes around curriculum adoption, approvals for courses, and so forth. That also exists on our website and in multiple other areas that teachers, administrators can access. And we are also working with our curriculum council to ensure we have processes and support for our members to make important and informed decisions around curriculum and new course approvals. We found that we really had just been running this organization, this committee, this team, and just assuming that people knew how to do these various things that they were given the task of doing, which is, for example, approving courses. So we realized that that was something that we really needed to work collectively. So we've been working with our teachers, our executive board, our curriculum council members to really go through and talk about those processes, those decisions that they make around curriculum and course offerings, and what that looks like so that we can make the most informed decisions. Thank you. David Raft.
As we talk about our curriculum adoption cycle, I'd like to thank the Board of Education and Dr. Dignan and Jen Curry for really putting an emphasis on this as being a very important part of our education system. We do have, it's been a number of years from my understanding that we have not adopted in curriculum or have a cycle in place. So it's exciting for me and the teachers I've talked to that we are actually beginning in the secondary level most right now as well is our science, our ELA. Yes, we're working at U.S. history as well as a new addition to our 9th grade. It kind of cycles through as we will be starting right now, and we're doing a lot of the more data looking, searching into the curriculum and meeting our standards and all the items that we might want for our students moving forward. Next year, we will start a pilot with science and ELA 612, and at the same time, this research piece will begin for our specials and elective classes that are at our prospective buildings. 24-25 school year, we will be implementing our new curriculum for the 612 ELA and for our K-12 science. And then the cycle continues through. As you see, we'll start the 25-26 school year where math and social studies will begin their research part of it. And it kind of continues on the cycle. And that's what we hope to do in a school district is have a cycle that the school board, the staff, and the families and community members know where we're at. So there's a lot of work that goes into this, actually, and a lot of work is lifted by our teachers and asked by our teachers to do this, and it takes a lot of time, and it's not time that can be done usually in an hour meeting. So we have asked our staff in a number of situations where they have taken partial days and maybe even full days to help come together as a team to kind of look and evaluate what's out there, what we're doing currently, what we can be doing better from an organization and from a content area. We started this work in December and January of this past year, and we are moving forward with February and March. It's kind of small, but as you guys can see, we are starting to evaluate vendors and publishers and looking at curriculum and seeing how what curriculum we're doing now is not aligning or what we need to do better to meet the needs of all of our students in the district. This April, May, we will be selecting and hearing from some of our vendors and publishers in the curriculum piece where they'll present to our groups and our adoption teams that have been selected by our content leads. And it's open to all staff to be part of as well. June and July, they will be given summer professional development time to kind of look and kind of prepare for the following year, which is the year 23-24, which is where we will be piloting our programs and hopefully narrowing that pilot down by April of next year so that we can bring it to the Board of Education for approval to move into the following school year. So that's how the cycle kind of flows through a year. It's about a 1.5 year process we've determined, and so that's where we're at right now going forward.
Hello. I'm giving credit here to Sally Nalu and the whole English learner department that are pictured there. But essentially, the things that you're reading there, we are really catering to our EL families and providing some really stellar customer service. And I get to say that because I just watch it happen throughout the day in different buildings, in this building, and really just giving that one-on-one attention to our families as we welcome them in, providing home visits when need be, and just making sure that they have all of the resources right at their fingertips. So it's nice to be part of that work and watch it happen. Also, so that's kind of with our families. With our staff, we have been working on providing SIOP training, which was a professional learning training around an instructional practice, 8 different components, that was really developed initially to make content more comprehensible to our English learners. But really, it's just good instructional strategies for any student and for any teacher to use in their classroom. So we have had 115 teachers already trained in the last year, this school year, and everybody has been eager to be part of it, excited once they're there, and then wanting more. So we're working on a wait list of that. I'll pass it over to Mr. Charlie Hallman.
Good evening. Mr. Raff just told me to move it along, so yes, sir. Today I have 3 updates on the work that the Special Education Department is moving forward with for you. The first one is from our preschools. Under the leadership of Beth Warwick and her dedicated early intervention services team, they have started a book blast for children from birth to 3 years old. Research has shown that it's never too early to start reading to children. Each month at the staff's home visit, a new book is delivered to the family to read together with a tip sheet to build early reading skills. The goal of this initiative is to have children learn to love to read and promote parents as our partners in helping children learn. The second one I bring to you tonight is from the elementary schools, and Heather Martinez and the resource program teachers are piloting reading interventions to close the achievement gap for our young learners. Teachers are using Fast Reading, Project Read, and Orton Gillingham reading interventions and comparing data to see what system leads to the greatest gains for reading. The goal of this initiative is to improve fluency, word decoding, and comprehension, all while increasing the students' confidence in reading. And the third one that I'll bring to you today is in all of our secondary schools. Mona Mallet and Dennis McBride, our secondary directors, have worked with their teams and to increase the effectiveness of co-teaching in each of our schools. Co-teaching is a pairing of 2 teachers in one classroom. One is an expert in the content area and one is an expert in accommodating students' learning to create a dynamic learning environment. The goals for co-teaching include increasing the academic achievement for all students and promoting an inclusive learning environment. And now I turn it back over to David.
Just some exciting things that we know are coming up here with this within CIA in our district as well. One of the things which we've been recently talking about is this legacy project, which really focuses on not only honoring all the high accomplishments our students have in academics, but it's actually looking at them from a leadership standpoint, from community service, their character, and actually kind of leaving impact on their their buildings when they leave. So like we focused on our 5th graders and our 8th graders and our seniors, and really kind of promote that within the building, so that when other students come in, they start seeing these 4th graders in our, or 5th graders in our buildings, and they're seeing them promoted around the building, or they see seniors. And really, I know so many times we really focus on academics only. This is a chance to really hit the students that, you know, maybe not all A students, but they do a lot of things for the community. They do a lot of things within their building. They have great character. So it is really an opportunity to promote all of our students and what's going on within our buildings as well. One of the other things is Pledge for Success. It really is we have so many opportunities out there within our buildings that are mentoring situations, peer-to-peer, peer-to-adult, our community supports, but this is an opportunity to align our district, in which we hope that all of our buildings are working together with a common system of support for our students. Mostly our students that we'll be targeting their attendance, we'll be targeting their academics, and we like to use the word attitude, which is behavior. But I mean, that can look at a lot of ways, but really focusing on supporting all those 3 A's. And I know you mentioned, Mrs. May, about attendance. This is one of our big ones. And what you said, Dr. Dignan, we can't get them, academics can't improve if we don't get them in the classroom in front of us. And I think the teachers would agree with that as well. So another thing that we are looking at is the balanced assessment system. It's my understanding that Mr. Orban and a group of teachers were working on this before COVID, and then it got stalled during the COVID time. We're bringing it back. We're really getting a chance to look at assessments, not more assessments, but looking how we assess students in an authentic way. It's important that, you know, some of our testing methods have changed over time, and we need to really meet all of our students at where they're at. Link Crew is this a transitional program that we're looking at, really an exciting program that our upperclassmen can work with our incoming 9th graders and really help them teach them a little bit more about what they're experiencing at the high school, not just about classes. And so we're really working at getting that program up and rolling at the high schools. And then streamlining our processes for Innovative Academy. This place, I've been around a lot this year. It's a very special place, and it has a different feel for it. It's something that we want all of our students to feel the opportunity to go to. I would imagine in 5 years, 10 years from now, we'd have Innovative Academies within all of our buildings, just because of having a unique way of learning for some of our students. And it's not just for students that struggle, it should be for students, for everybody that have a different way of learning. So we're really working a lot, our counselors from the buildings, our administrators, Mr. Beebe, Ms. Mitter, really, we've been meeting a lot with our teams from the comprehensive high schools and WIA, we call it WIA, or I call it WIA, but it's been a real special place for me to watch develop this year more so. And at this time, we'll turn it over to Career and College.
Good evening. Once again, I'm Darryl Beebe with the Executive Director of College and Career Readiness and also Social Emotional Learning. And so I'm excited tonight to report about some of the work that we've done over the past year and a half. We've seen a lot of growth in a lot of areas. So for those that don't know, our focus in College and Career Readiness starts with awareness from that K-5 level, exploration for grades 6 through 8, and then preparation as we look at grades 9 through 12. And so before you should have our career guide, our resource guide, that is a resource for our parents, staff, students, and the entire community. It is also electronically placed on our website. And then you also have a document that should show you how we look to break down activities and opportunities with equity across all grade levels. And so our goal is to help students to see and be exposed to opportunities that they may have never had an opportunity to be exposed to. One of my philosophies is you can't see it until you see it. And so our goal and objective is to take students as well as our staff to places and experiences that they have never had before, to open their eyes to what's out there and what's available. Next slide. We have invested in Pathful Connect, which has been a great support of our endeavors. Pathful Connect is a product that we use that allows an actual person from an agency or from a business to come and speak to our students virtually. They also have video opportunities, and even on today, we had 33 classrooms to participate and Pathful Connect. So once again, it brings an actual individual in the field to our classrooms virtually and also through video. We also have on the slide, we're talking about our Zello data. And I can tell you right now, last year at this time, we were not even close to 78%. And so as we head into the last semester with 78% completion in regards to Zello, we're extremely pleased and excited. Zello is very much like Be Able in that it helps our students to identify career pathways. They take an interest inventory, and it provides for them different areas that they should specialize in and work towards. And so as we provided that data, or provided a Zello opportunity, we found that the top career clusters were artists, animator, and cartoonist, which in terms of a lot of the field trips and different activities we were seeking, we needed to find out what they were interested in and then create those opportunities to expose them even deeper. We are working on our FAFSA data. We had incredible growth over at, as David called it, WIA, I call it the IA. And we had incredible growth in the area of FAFSA there. We are still moving slowly at John Glenn and Wayne Memorial, but it's important for us, and as we move forward, we need to have deeper conversations about how we can get our FAFSA rates up. FAFSA opens the door to college, but not only college, also community college, and many of the trade opportunities that are available. So we're working towards that as we move forward. Some of the activities that we participated in, probably about a couple of weeks ago, we had an opportunity to work with the Road Must Show, the Must Road Show, where we took our staff to have the opportunity to participate in the trades. And they got to find out a little bit about what it takes to be successful in trades, and they also found out about how a lot of our students can participate in a trade, and once they're trained and done, they finish with no debt. And so the demonstrations and the activities were incredible. And a lot of times back in the day, we would say, oh, wait a minute, you're not great in school, so go take a trade. That's not necessarily true. You have to have math skills. You have to have strong reading skills. They did a geometry lesson for us that kind of knocked us off our feet and took us way back to geometry class, which wasn't my favorite. But it's a great opportunity as we try to take our staff to see these opportunities, because for some staff, their path was from college to the classroom. From high school, college, into the classroom. And so it's great to have these opportunities in industry to see what's out there and what's available. And we will continue that professional development. Mrs. Mitter, who's going to be coming up shortly, has been paramount in setting up the May 3rd professional development, where we will have trades and industry here for our staff to participate with. And I'm going to turn it over to Kate Bro.
Hi. Okay. Here we go. A couple more from me. So we have resurrected a partnership that we have had with the Michigan Philharmonic Orchestra. I think back when I was a fourth grade teacher, we had a partnership with them, and Sam Baresi said, hey, in the last couple years, let's get this going again. And so for several reasons, we weren't able to with COVID. So this year, we have resurrected this partnership, and we had visits to all 10 of our elementary schools, to our third grade classes in the last few weeks. They wrapped up. And then in April, we will have visits to all of our fourth grade classes, where they play a little bit, they learn about the instruments, connect to books. And then on May 22nd, they're going to be coming back for our fourth graders for all district fourth grade performance. So board members, you are all welcome to attend May 22nd at Stockmeyer Auditorium. So we're excited about that. And we knew from our data, our RISEC data from Beable, that our students are interested in music. So we wanted to make sure that we definitely gave them this opportunity. Another thing at the elementary level that we have done intentionally this year, the curriculum instruction department, the college and career readiness department, the career tech center leadership, our STEM center leadership, we have all partnered together to provide an opportunity to all of our fourth graders across the district. They're wrapping up this week, actually Friday. We had to do some rescheduling with our snow and weather lately. So all fourth graders across the district have spent a day, or will by Friday, have spent a day coming over to John Glenn and experiencing the planetarium, the STEM Center. And then at the Career Technical Center, they have had a lesson in robotics, and a little putt-putt course was put together based on those 6 different career pathways that the staff and students at Career Tech have been working on, I think, since August. And so it has been great to see, and we're already reflecting each time, getting input and feedback from our students and staff on how to make it even better next year. And even early on, we're able to make some changes as we went through it. So if you haven't gone and experienced that, they're there at about 10 o'clock till noon is when the fun is going on. There is one going on the 22nd and the 24th this week as well. So if you haven't been able to stop over there yet, you still can. There is still time. 5th grade excursion camp is Miss Maria Mitter.
Good evening, everyone. So our 5th graders across the district go to EMU. This is our 2nd year of doing that, and they will spend the first week of May out on EMU's campus for an entire week. And then they will participate in a variety of camps that is youth-driven, so the kids get to decide which camps they want to go into and explore, and then there will be a culminating celebration on the final day. So I encourage you all to come on out to the camp and check it out. It's a lot of fun. Also, we are working with Wayne County Community College District to organize some opportunities for our 6th and 7th graders. And so this is very much in the infancy of what it's going to look like, but a number of us got to spend some time at Wayne County Community College District last week at their campus in Taylor. And that's where they have their EMT program and their fire program and some others. But it's really exciting. So we want to get the kids out there so that they can see the different programs that are available. Wayne County Community College has an incredible, just a lot of different programs across their different campuses. So we want to get them out there to explore what the options are. So March Madness is this week, which is why some of us are wearing camouflage. And so today is Military Monday. And tomorrow, Trades Tuesday, William D. Ford Wednesday, Tycoon Thursday, and capping it off with Final Four Friday. So it's really about just kind of raising awareness, starting the conversation with students around the different career pathways. And so that is happening this whole week across the district. Also, on May 18th, we are going to be holding our annual, what's going to become an annual Discover Your Path. And we're going to be bringing all of our 8th graders to Hype Recreation Center in Wayne, and all of our students from WWIA as well, to explore through stations the variety of different career pathways and the skilled trades, and just a vast array of different opportunities for students. It'll be hands-on, and so we're in the process of developing that right now. So mark your calendars for May 18th to come on over to Hype as well. And we held our HBCU College Fair. This is our 2nd annual on November 2nd, and we had over 300 students and families in attendance. And we had 29 schools represented and programs represented, and it was a really awesome event for our students to attend. We also held what we called Cash for Grads, an event in November, where we talked to students about the variety of ways to pay for college. And we had different stations where students had to complete their FAFSA, or at least start their FAFSA, right? Because it's a little intense. To also exposure to the military, to logging into Zello and getting your login and getting your EDP completed if you can, and some exposure to the skilled trades. But the really awesome thing was we gave away on the spot that night $3,000 in scholarships to our students. So it was a lot of fun that night.
We would like to give more money.
Yeah, yes, we always want to give more money in scholarships. And then finally, we received a grant with our partner SEMCA from Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib to expand our work-based learning here in the district to non-CTE students. So we received $850,000, which is going to allow us to provide internships and job shadowing opportunities for our high school students. The really awesome thing is that once those students complete that placement, we will give them a gift certificate or a certificate of some sort for the 3 phases of driver's education. Because we recognize that as a barrier to our students for getting a license, and through this grant, that's allowing us to do that. And so we're going to do a soft launch here in the summer, and it'll just carry from there, but look for that as well. And I think that's it, if there's any questions for all of us.
Questions, members of the board?
I just had one question.
Mel?
So I work for a housing authority, and there's a grant that I definitely would like to apply for. It's like called the Youth Build through HUD, and it works with the skilled trades, construction, and stuff like that. So I definitely want to work with the career tech and trying to see how we can help our kids, because that's additional money from the government, and it helps with, you know, training, development, and there's a lot of properties that we have in housing that we can have the kids maybe work on. And then I definitely want to help with your job fair, because I do a lot of the construction, so I'm dealing with a lot of different vendors. So I'm gonna definitely be having them call Mr. Bebe to come out to the fair, because I think it's gonna be an amazing opportunity for our families and our students.
Great, we welcome all the support, thank you.
Thanks, Mel. Thank you very much, Maria. Thank you, everyone.
Great job, team. Next up, Jacinda, our Director of Career Technical Education, is going to talk about early middle college and higher learning partnerships.
Hello, board. My name is Jacinda Smara. I serve our district as Director of Career Technical Education and Early College. More public-facing to our community, I serve as the principal of William D. Ford Career Tech Center, the best school in the world. I'm biased. Since we have some new board members, so what is early college? Early college takes and makes the high school experience a 5-year delivery. Students simultaneously earn their high school diploma, industry certifications, and up to 60 college credits or their associate's degree. While we have many options for earning college credits here in Wayne-Westland, this is the only one that allows our students to earn an associate's degree in an accelerated rate. Our design of early college allows students to enter in 9th, 10th, or 11th grade. It provides opportunities in all 6 of those career development framework career zones that Kate has accentuated in her speeches tonight. Some benefits of this program to our students is that we provide tuition, fees, books, and nutrition covered in full, and upon request, transportation. In fact, our nutrition options for our final year students, even though we haven't put them into practice yet, were highlighted at the recent state EMC conference as a best practice for future nutrition plans and EMC proposals. We haven't actually had to use transportation yet, because this year all of our classes are being offered at the William D. Ford Career Tech Center, and the same will be in place for next year. So our students that attend John Glenn simply walk over to our campus, and our students that attend Wayne Memorial come on the Career Tech bus. We set vision this year, essentially. We want to see our students really have this expedited experience that really sets them on their path to their futures. And our mission is to really build a portfolio of opportunities, because college and post-secondary options should really be about choice. So what has our timeline been? We were established this time last year. I was really excited to present this opportunity to the board. And since then, we went into the spring, we did a recruitment for cohort 1, where we really designed our enrollment process. In the summer, we created a reporting design. How are we going to track the students in this program? We did some budget planning with Ms. Cleave's team. And we launched our College Success Seminar for the students in our first cohort. In the fall, we actually launched our actual early college. We were able to add some staff thanks to Dr. O'Feely's vertical, and we really sat down and planned out what expansion of our program would look like. Moving forward, where are we now? We are really in the middle of our expansion design. We're planning for MEMCA certification, which is the Michigan Early Middle College Association certification, which really kind of gives us the gold star of being an early college in the state of Michigan. And we have just completed our recruitment for cohort 2. So we are staffed by 4 people at this point. I serve as our director. We were able to add Mr. Ted Booker as our coordinator, and we're able to fund his role in part by a 61B2 grant. That was a pass-through grant to us as a gift from Wayne Risa. We added Diane back as a social worker to really provide those wraparound supports that the state of Michigan really requires for early college. And Josh Ricklicky is currently serving as our mentor teacher because we do need a teacher of record for our students in this program. Are some data about cohort 1. We had 23 applications last year. 16 of those actually turned into participants. It's a mixture of 9th, 10th, and 11th graders with some a little bit heavier on the 9th grade side, which kind of shocked me, but our 9th graders are doing pretty well. Our male-female balance, we're a little heavier tilting toward the female students, but our male students seem to be enjoying the experience just as much as our female. In our first semester, we awarded 84 college credits at no cost to families. And really, our group of students has built really a strong camaraderie, which I think is even more important because they have a lot of collaborative projects and they really seem to enjoy working together. Our cohort 2 projections, we had 55 applications this year. They were, again, a little heavy to the 9th grade, but evenly divided or dispersed between 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. We, again, had slightly higher interest from female applicants. And we just last week sent our acceptances. We sent 25 acceptances, 3 wait lists. We identified 19 students as ineligible because we really want to make sure that the completion of high school happens, and some of our students maybe need a little more support in making sure they finish high school. And then we had 8 families withdraw for a variety of reasons. As we coached them through the process, maybe they saw other options that we offer here at Wayne-Westland as the right one for them. Expansion design. So in school year 2023, or this year, really we wanted to look at creating more post-secondary partnerships. We wanted, knowing what was happening with WWIA, as I call it, we wanted to create a virtual opportunity to provide opportunities for those students that perhaps can't come on campus. And we really wanted to start to establish some